What? Oh.
Bitch, you guessed it! He was right.
That's good. That's good. I like it.
Alright, hello everybody. Welcome to Korn and Kock episode 63.
Welcome back. Good to be back.
It is good to be back. I'm Korn. He's Kock. He's eating some cheese.
Yep.
Fuck yeah. I wish I honestly, it's been a while since I've done that. I kind of want some cheddar cheese. That'd be good. And then what the fuck?
Well, I gotta cut it with the. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. That looks more like a hunting knife or like a knife you'd use to like stab your.
This thing is just a little knife in the kitchen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What do you think? I got it out in the garage next to the deer I just killed.
Yeah, you just had a fucking machete and you're like.
I'll just put it in. I'm just gonna put it in my mouth like that scene in Raising Arizona. When John Goodman's climbing through the wall.
Absolutely.
Yep. All right. Well, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty okay, bud.
That's good.
Set up my first therapy appointment, so that's gonna be fun.
All right.
Finally, I'm going to see a therapist because I'm a fucking mess.
I've been thinking about doing that. I'm probably gonna do that sometime this year.
Yeah. Other than that, I don't know. We said it before. We'll say it again. This year's gonna be a great fucking year. We got Metallica's new album next week, next Friday.
Yep.
Excuse me. We've got. We've got. Yeah, I don't know.
Wait.
Okay, timeout. You're
We're going
exercising
through
your timeout. All right.
We get to, yes, I get 3 timeouts. So we're going through the highlights. We got Metallica, and that burp was so slow and heavy. It was like sludge metal. It was just like it just felt like it was crumbling apart in my hand. Like you pick up a cookie to eat, and it just falls apart, and you're like, "Well, I guess I'll go get another cookie." That's what that sounded like. That was
Awesome.
amazing.
Well, I'm glad that it was a memorable one. All right,
Yeah,
then there's Zelda: Tears of My Breath coming out May. Goodbye Volcano High in June, right before my birthday. Pikmin 4 in July. We're seeing Metallica in September. Dude, like every month there's just like something cool to look forward to. Like this year, honestly, it's looking up. Things are just. And I'm gonna see a therapist. My shadow ban's gone on Twitter.
I'm gonna see Metallica twice.
In one weekend? Can that be in the thumbnail? Just
I've quickly learned something.
what's that?
I learned this scrolling through System of a Down videos. Do you know how many times you see Darren making the dumbest faces on these videos?
There's not. It's harder to find him making a normal face.
Exactly. So I find myself, oh, I gotta watch this video. How does he make that face? Why does he make that face? And I kind of realized that might be part of the trick. It's for thumbnails to make something shocking, like me going like this.
Stone.
Or
That's been the fucking trick to YouTube since like 2008.
Well, that's what we have to do.
Either that or like have big tits, which neither of us do. So.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, this isn't like a revelation like no one's ever discovered, but we got to start doing that.
You got to do a Mr.Beast face, like.
That's what I'm saying. So rather than our cartoon faces, I think we should just take actual faces, like your favorite face you make.
You won't believe what he said about 72 seasons.
Like the best face I make in the video, you screenshot that over here. And then the best face you make on yours, and that should be it. It's like a rebrand.
Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea.
Because I'm just saying, like, you find yourself clicking on a video and nothing happens, and you're like, why did I do that? And then you click out of it, and then you just see that. You see, and you're like, oh, that's why I clicked on it, so I could see the dumb face he makes.
When do they get to the faces? This is clickbait.
So I put the knife in my mouth and just, like, look into it, and then that could be the... That could be my picture for the thumbnail. Okay. I'm gonna do it. All right. Like, is this?
Okay. And I'll do the one where I did the the Mr. Beast face.
It almost froze. The camera almost froze on you just going.
But that's all of Mr. Beast's videos. He's next to like a starving Ugandan child, and he's like, I gave this starving Ugandan child 30 iPads.
Wow, 30 iPads.
Thanks, Mr. Beast. Really? No, like, okay. I don't know if I ever talked about it on Korn and Kock before, but you at least know who Mr. Beast is, or like have seen the thumbnails of his videos, right?
No.
I think he's the most subscribed person on YouTube.
I've heard his name, but I know nothing about him. Mr. Beast could walk through in my bedroom, and I'd be like, "Who are you?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just thinking, because if that were to ever happen, the first thing he would do is ask you if you're subscribed, and you'd say no, and he'd be like, oh, okay, bye. And then, like, you'd be like, oh, what happened? And then later on, like 2 months later, you'd watch a video saying, giving my subscribers $300,000. And then you would go on the video, you'd see yourself, and it's like, no, I don't know who you are. And you're like, oh. And then it would cut to like, well, he didn't get $3,000. And you'd be like, what the fuck?
I'd be like, more.
Yeah.
I like this thumbnail theory that we're doing.
It's great. It's great. So the point is, essentially, what he did was, like a month or two ago, he made a video. Basically, he paid for 1,000 people to get corrective eye surgery so that they could see. Like, basically paid for the surgery that, like, cured their blindness, essentially. Right?
Wow.
And, okay, if you look up the thumbnail for that video, the thumbnail's pretty fucking weird. It's like him going next to some kid who's, like, crying. It's a bit of a weird thumbnail.
When did it come out?
It's, like, one of his newer videos. If you look up his channel, you'll see it, like, right up there. Point is that people watched it and they were like, oh, Mr. Beast is such a fucking terrible person because he could be doing so much more with his money. He's the Antichrist because he's performing miracles. And it's like, these people are all getting mad at this guy for helping others. That's 1,000 more people that can see that couldn't see before that video was made. So in the end, there's a net positive, and I mean, someone doing something good, even if it's not on like a super macro scale, like it's still a good deed, regardless of if he made it for a fucking video or not. Like, so I don't know, like people are just like weird about it. Like people say they're like, oh, he wastes his money on shit, and it's like, I don't know what to tell you, dude.
How's wasting money paying for blind people to see? How is that a waste of money?
Usually the people who say that, and I'm not afraid to say this, usually the people who like criticize Mr. Beast are like people who are like, they would never admit it, but most of them are just mad that they can't meet Mr. Beast and get like $10,000 for just meeting him. Because he'll do that in his videos. He'll just be like, hey, you want $10,000? And you're like, yeah, fuck it, sure. And then he gives it to you, and it's like, it's real. Like, you just get the money. But like, I can guarantee you they're just like salty. They're like, oh, he could be doing this and this and that. But in reality, they're like, he could be giving me money, and what could I do with that money? It's like, shut up.
There is that. I think people get mad when, like, say I won the lottery.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing I would do is pay off any debt that my parents or most of my family members have.
Based.
Then, of course, okay, I reinvest it. I do all that stuff. Okay. The first fun, serious thing I would do is this. I would pick... Oh, I'll do the Diamondbacks first. I would go and watch every game they play, but I would follow them around the country. So, they started the year in LA and San Diego. So I'd go to LA and San Diego, watch all their games. Then they'd come back to Phoenix for 10 days. And then they'd go to Milwaukee and St. Louis. And then they'd come back. I would just travel a team wherever they'd go. So I'd see the country and all over the place. I can't tell you how many people would be upset with me because I did that. because that is stupid. That's a waste of time. No, that's not what you would do with it. Because some people would fly to Egypt and look at pyramids.
Not gonna lie, Egypt's pretty cool though.
It's fine. I wouldn't do it, but I'm not going to sit here and say that's stupid. Why would you do that? Because that's not what I would do with the money. And also, I want to call people out. If you want all this money, you would not just donate it to charity. You wouldn't give it to a homeless person. No, you would keep the money for yourself.
Some money, maybe, but like a fraction of what you won. Guaranteed. Fucking-teed. Like, people will say, I'll fucking say, oh yeah, it's so charitable, I would give all my money to animal shelters, to children's hospitals. They get the money, the first thing they're doing is like, this is my retirement plan, I'm not fucking... They're buying a fucking Bugatti, and they're buying a PS5 that they're never going to touch, and like, they're gonna buy a fucking house with property tax they can't afford, and then they're gonna lose all their money and be like, what happened?
What happened? Yeah, I know. But again,
it's most people. There are some virtuous souls, some, very few, that would do that type of thing. I'm not saying it's not possible. It's just very improbable.
Because of people too, they go, well, if I had all this money, I would do this. And I think to myself, there is so much money out there, we can't wrap our minds around it. I can't wrap my head around
Wait, hold on. Did you just say there are so many money out there?
If I did, I do apologize. That's probably the future stroke happening.
Oh, no.
But I meant to say that there are so many people out there with money. Like, do you know what James Hetfield's net worth is?
I would say somewhere in like the 400 million.
I think it was 350. So let's just say it's 350, although
Sure.
It might be 300.
Sure.
Your net worth is $300 million. I mean, you can do anything you want. You, Alex Korn, can fly to Japan. Dude, you, Alex Korn, can fly to Japan for 2 months and be totally fine.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to plan it out. You don't have to ask me to go with you or anything like that. You can just say, hey, I'm leaving. I'll be back whenever I get back.
Well, here's the thing. I don't want to... I don't ask people to go places with me because I'm like... Oh yeah, let's split the cost or some shit like that. I'm asking because like I'm scared, man. I'm just one dude. I want some company. Because if I'm going to a country that I've never been to before, I want someone next to me. So when shit gets rough, if shit gets rough, like I get lost or something, I can look to you and be like, "What the fuck? Can we figure this out?" Rather than going to like a Japanese person, be like, "Excuse me, I'm sorry. Could you help me?" And they go, "No, this guy."
Yeah, but I know your theory. You only want 2 people as backup and you're good. I'm not going to go any further because you know what I mean by that.
Man, fuck you. First earlier with the ultimate and now with this. Fuck you. Taking
the ultimate,
shots.
Really? The ultimate was funny.
Oh, you're a fucker. You're a bastard.
Oh, come on.
You're a bastard.
Come on.
I'll remember that.
I don't even remember what I said about the ultimate.
You said
what was
it was something about when we were mixing. It's when we were mixing fucking... What was it?
Metallica song titles?
Yeah. What the fuck? Hold on, let me look through our messages. Dun, dun,
Yeah,
dun,
it was just a day or two
look
ago.
Through our messages. It was last night. Oh, we were talking about Jason Paradise and his videos, and I said Boner, the video, and he was like, oh yeah, that's one of his best. Through the Tables and Memes might be the ultimate, is what you said. And then I was typing, you couldn't fucking resist, couldn't you? And then you had to clarify, but not the ultimate that you bought at the store. You fuck. And then, of course, you were like, oh, but the D-backs lost. It's okay, I already paid for it.
They did. What was this yesterday?
Yeah, this was yesterday.
Okay, yeah. Yesterday, I really paid for it because they were winning, and at the very last moment, they blew it. Yeah, they choked. That's what I'm saying. I paid for it. They were winning, and they blew it. They blew it.
You blew it!
Okay, I want the face of you screaming into the microphone like that. That'll be yours. And then me going like this.
We have a lot of choices. And then there's...
Yeah, there's me with a knife in my mouth. Like, and then there's me choking myself.
I just remembered I was doing laundry. I haven't checked up on it in a while. Can you hold the fork down while I go do that really quick?
Sure, let's do it.
Okay, I'll be right back, guys. Bye.
All right, let's do it. What the hell did he do? Did he just throw the...
shit.
What?
No,
what are you
nothing.
doing?
I dropped something. You're fine.
That's not getting edited out. All right, well, now it's my podcast. Anyways, how are you, the viewers, doing? That's great. We got 10 days before Metallica's new album drops. We're going to talk about it in a minute or two. But I have to say, what is it with Taco Bell tacos where it just feels like the tacos are getting smaller and smaller? There's not enough cheese and lettuce and meat, yet the prices are just skyrocketing. I got Taco Bell for dinner tonight, and my God, of the 5 tacos I got, yes, I get 5 crunchy tacos for dinner. I know I'm a fat ass. Out of the 5 tacos, I'd say maybe 2 were good. One of them was like an absolute disaster, and the other 2 were just kind of like mid or whatever. And the other 2 were the only good ones.
What's up?
I'm tempted if I should tell you what I was talking about, or if I should wait for you to edit this and then you can see what I was talking about.
You're a bitch. Oh, well, now I'm definitely not going to tell you.
Okay, well, now it's my turn. Now you have to hold the fork down for a second.
All right, I'll hold the fart down.
That actually reminds me of something, but I'll ask you when I get back.
Sure, sounds good. All right. So, we've had a Kock segment. I don't think we've ever had a Korn segment and a Kock segment in the same podcast as at once. That's a new one for Korn and Kock. We're trying out new things. We're like, got the new setup. We're becoming lazier and don't draw the backgrounds anymore. But I mean, we got face cam, so that's good. I remember some guy commented, if you're watching this, some guy, like a few podcasts ago, we were talking about having us have equal space on the screen. And he said, use Discord. And I tried that. And for some reason, Stone's quality was fucking awful. His audio quality was much better, but his camera looked like shit. So for right now, this is how it's going to have to be. So, also nice Shining shirt.
Oh, thank you. I like the Shining and the Rockies black and silver and purple. I thought it was a pretty good combo.
Yeah, the bullshit.
What?
The podcast, sorry.
Oh.
Oh.
Right on. All right, well, okay, so speaking of farts, I wanted to ask you something.
Wonderful way to segue into the next topic. Go ahead.
Well, you know, you got to go right into it. We don't mess around on Korn and Kock here.
We don't fuck around.
All right, here we go. Now, let me ask you.
Yeah, go ahead.
I know you're not seeing anybody now, but if you were, would you fart in front of them? Would you fart in front of your girlfriend?
Like, if I felt like it was like a real, like, knockout blast, then I would excuse myself. But if it was like a... I'm sorry, honey. Like, oh, yeah, because you're so much better than me, you don't fart. Like, okay. On the first date, like, 2 dates or something, if you're, like, sitting there at a movie theater and you rip ass, that's fucking gross. Don't do that. But if you've known each other for, like, 6 months and you're, like... You're watching fucking Pocahontas on Disney Plus, like, late at night, and she's, like, half asleep. Like, are you really gonna be like, oh, sorry, babe, I gotta go to the bathroom, just so you can go, like, seriously?
Pocahontas, that's interesting.
I don't know, I wanted to say Monsters, Inc., but I said that on the last podcast.
Yeah, when Lars
and his, we're having family night. Yeah, we're not doing that again.
No,
it was funny.
No, we're gonna do it again. We're just not gonna make a 45-minute segment on it.
But so look, everybody farts. There are some farts that should be concealed and, you know. But sometimes you can't help it. Like, sometimes it just comes out. Like, anybody who would break up with someone or, like, be disgusted with someone because, like, oh, they farted, like, you're a shallow cunt. Fuck off.
Okay.
So you asked for my opinion, so I'm being real with you.
So now,
there's just really quick. There's like a thin, like, middle ground between, like, acceptable and disgusting, and it's like you gotta stay within that pocket. Like, obviously you don't rip ass like 24/7, but you also like. Oh, excuse me, I have to run off to the restroom now. Like every 5 minutes because you had a Chipotle burrito. Like, come on.
I mean, if you're eating Chipotle together, you've been together for a while.
I guess so.
No one's getting Chipotle on the first date, and then on the car ride back to one of their places, their stomach's just going, and you're going, oh my God, what did I do that for? Okay, now,
Yes.
She farts in front of you. Are you offended? Are you like, you know?
I don't
come
care.
on.
I do not care.
Okay.
I do not care. Though if it stinks, I'm gonna be like, what the fuck did you eat?
Because I ask because for some people it is a thing where they won't do it. They're not going to fart in front of their partner. They will leave the room to, you know, do their business and then come back in, and I just think, well, what if you're laying in bed? Okay, what if you're laying in bed, okay? You just turn the lights off so you're both awake. The lights literally went out and you're laying in bed like this and you got a fart. And you just found the comfy spot on the mattress, on the pillow, the blanket, it's there. And if you move 2 inches, it's cold, and then you got to start all over again. You're really just going to get up and go, excuse me, get up, walk out the door, shut the door, and then open it. That makes it look even more odd, suspicious, whatever. If you have to go, hold on a second, and then walk back in. Just do it in the bed. You're not going to Dutch oven them.
If it's their prerogative to leave the room, whatever. I'm just saying, like, everybody farts. Like, it's not heresy if you fart. I don't understand what this like, what's the word I'm looking for? Not hubris. This oh, Jesus Christ, what's the word? Whatever, like.
I'm on the edge of my seat.
I can't think of the word. I'm gonna think about it when I'm gonna know the word immediately when I do the podcast, edit it later. So,
well, that was essentially it. Because I was talking to my sister, and she goes like, "No, I will never do it in front of him." I'm like, "Really? I mean, look, I can see in some cases if you're on the other side of the room, standing next to the door, and he's on the other side, and you feel it coming, you can kind of slip out. That's okay. But I mean, and if you're already married. You think a fart's going to be like, nope, can't do it. I'm opting out.
Well, there's also the fact that it's like purposefully farting and accidentally farting. They're two different things. Like, you can be like, hey, guess what? What? Like as a stupid goof. Like, yeah, that's pretty fucking gross. But like, if you're doing that,
that's funny, dude. Especially if it's perfectly timed. It's really funny and totally
like you're watching a movie and it's like the silent part, right? Like as the girl is like turning the doorknob into the dark room and she peers into the dark room and all you hear is
Luke, like, I am your father. I mean, come on. And I don't care if you're in the doghouse for that. That's funny. That's going down with the ship. That's good.
Look, just don't be a slob. I say as I have a cracker in my mouth, but just like, don't be a slob. But I really don't see the big deal.
Now let me ask you this. I've seen couple. Okay, let me rephrase that. I've heard of couples, like, you know, married couples that have been married for like a long time. They just go to the bathroom with the door wide open. Like, doors wide open.
Oh, that's fine, but farting is where the fucking divorce papers get signed? Get out of here.
That's what I'm saying. And my parents were never like that. And I was like, why? And somebody, I forgot which one said it, but they're like, we gotta keep the sexy alive. And there's nothing more unsexy than seeing your partner doing that. And I'm not talking like, oh, just taking a leak or whatever. I'm talking about negotiations, if you know what I'm talking
Taking
about.
the Browns to the Super Bowl.
Taking the kids to the swimming pool.
Oh,
something
right.
like that.
All right.
All right.
All
right.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
All
that's
right,
just
well,
my opinion on it. All the women, all 2 of them who watch this podcast, who will watch this podcast, feel free to judge me. That's fine. I'll probably never meet you.
That's 2.5 more than I think actually do watch this podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's get right into it. What do you think of 72 Seasons, the song?
I stayed up that night to listen to it.
Oh, really?
I did. I was there for the countdown.
Were you waiting on the Metallica page?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what was really funny is I was in a voice call with 2 buddies of mine, and they listened to the song too. And then this third buddy of mine showed up, and he was like, "Hey guys, how you doing?" Because he's British.
Mm-hmm.
I have to make fun of him because he's British. In it, bottle of water, Tuesday in it. No, fucking, he came in and he started talking about some shit, and like, I was like, I really want to listen to what you're saying, but we got like 30 seconds before this starts. So like at the 10-second mark, I was just like, meet you on the other side. And then everyone fucking
meet you on the other side.
I literally said that. I was like, see you on the other side, boys. And we all like muted our microphones and like deafened, so like no one could hear what he was saying. So we just like left him there, and I feel a little bad, but just like when the song started, and it's just like the ambience, like
oh yeah, that part.
That part, I thought it was gonna go.
That's what I thought too when I heard that. I'm like, is this Pulp Fiction?
Yeah,
Am I gonna see John Travolta walking around?
Yeah, seriously. But I have to say, I know we ranked openers last podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I would probably shoot that one to number 1.
Number 1?
I'm dead serious.
Wow.
I'm
that's
dead fucking serious. That shit, I know a lot of people maybe thought it was like meh, or like didn't really like it. That shit was bonkers off the wall. And I loved it.
Okay.
I liked how in the middle it was kind of like a little more proggy, like that. Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
I love that.
What do you think? What do you think of the music video?
I thought the music video was cool as fuck.
The music video was honestly amazing.
It was really cool. I liked all the fire effects. I liked the steel wool burning. That was neat.
I love the shot of the sun like off in the distance, and you see James just like. I gotta tell you, dude.
In the Jesus Christ pose.
No, well, it was cool because he's like slowly like raising. Oh, you can actually get a pretty good view.
Yeah.
But it's a cheesy shot, but to have the sun off in the distance, and to see from behind. James like looking up, and I think it was James, but just like slowly like raising his hands. It looked really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I got to tell you, the colors on the music video was like black, red, and orange with a tiny bit of yellow. It reminded me of the colors on Meshuggah's last album, Immutable. Yeah, Immutable. And it just it felt different. It sounded different than what I thought it was going to be. But let me paint you the picture. So I wasn't going to stay up. I'm like, I got to go to sleep. So I grabbed my headphones and I put them right next to me on the bed. Right at like 9:30, alarm went off. I hit snooze 3 times. And it's like 9:45. And I'm like, okay, I got to listen to this. So I grabbed the headphones, plug it in, put the headphones in, go on Spotify, put it on, and listen to it, and close my eyes. And I gotta tell you, it was definitely a very cool journey. Now, the music video came second, not 1st. And there's a little bit of an issue I have, which I want to get to, and we'll go back to the song in a second. That video you sent me of that guy, narrating or going or whatever, that was a hard video to get through. I did not like that guy. I'm not going to mention YouTube channels. I don't want to start any feuds or whatever. Just was not feeling
the
it.
Korn and Kock feud.
Like, I don't want to trash talk anybody, by name. Plus, everyone does reaction videos. But here's my issue. Everybody was like, this song takes too long to get to. You do realize the song literally starts with that bass, right? There is no ambient beginning. So when that guy's watching in reaction, he's like, come on, guys, let's get to the song. Like, that's not the song. That's the music video.
Sounds like Zayn talking about For Whom the Bell Tolls.
But Zayn's right with For Whom the Bell Tolls, because that's actually when the song starts. This one is like, oh, come on, guys, what are we doing here? And you want to go, you do realize you look like a smart man. You study music theory. This is not the song. The song is 7 minutes, 39 seconds. The music video is 8:39. So that should tell you something. And my biggest thing with that guy and reaction videos it just feels like people just have to act and come up with a shocking face and come up with a shocking, like, pause. That was garbage. Pause. Oh, that part's really cool. Just listen to the whole thing, then go back and dissect it. But listen to the whole thing, make some faces, but stop pausing it and doing a bunch of these things.
Yeah, I can see that.
Now, there's one part I fully agree with him on. The the last chorus.
Yeah.
So the last pre-chorus, I think he said skip that and go into the last chorus. And I thought, yeah, I think that would be the right thing to do. But then I thought, actually, I think it would have been cooler if they had that same section, but they played it differently. So instead of doing the halftime feel, they played it just as fast, but it's still the same guitar riff.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that would be kind of cool to change it up. But other than that, I didn't like that guy's voice. I didn't really like a lot of his thoughts. He just kind of sounded like a music pleb.
Well, he's one of those guys that, like, I studied music theory. And I have a book out that'll teach you everything you need to know. Like, anybody who's like that kind of seems like up their own ass. Like, okay, maybe they know what they're talking about, but like they're so pretentious with it that it's like, fuck off.
Can you not remind me that you know what you're talking about? That's how I feel. But what were his points? Because you sent me the message. It's a good song, but he makes some good points. So what were the points that you agreed with?
I don't know, like, the lyrics, I don't know, they kind of feel like they're not really about anything in particular. Like, it's too broad of a thing that James is singing about. But I mean, some of them are cool, like Permanently Midnight. That's cool.
When that line came up, he was like loving that. And I thought, listen to it, and I'm like,
well,
okay.
it was preceded by choking on the stage fright. Like, that part was like,
okay, see, I kind of I didn't love it, but I kind of like that. But again, he's just like, stage fright. Yo, guys, I thought we were talking about living life. Well, that's kind of the point, is living life. It's kind of like getting on stage and going out there. So it kind of felt like you're just picking shit apart just to pick it apart. Maybe get through the whole song, then go back. Because he would immediately say something, and 30 seconds later, the opposite would happen. And you just think, maybe if you just shut the hell up, listen to it, and then went back, your comments would make sense. But you just kind of come off as a doofus. Also, and now I'm just getting a little personal. When did people start calling James Hetfield Papa Het? I don't like that. I do not approve of it. And he kept referring to him. Oh, Papa Het's lyrics. What are we talking about?
Sorry, Dave. Let me drink some more WAP juice.
I didn't like that. And the way he talked, it's like he was whispering. No, that's all right. It's like he was whispering into the microphone, just like, Well, Papa Head, what are we doing with stage fright? I thought we were talking about growing up. I honestly was like,
What are your songs about, douchebag?
just like, can you talk? Can you get some balls in your voice and speak up? Why are you like, well, James, it sounds like you should really like shorten this part. What do you think he's listening to the video? But anyways, I haven't read every single word. Actually, not sure. I did once. Most of the lyrics seem to have a theme or a concept, but then others, it almost just kind of sounds like.
They were just looking for stuff to rhyme with.
Yeah, but I have to say, I love that melody line of the verse. I love it. And how he says some of those words.
The one line that I'm like, what the fuck, is like, what did he say?
Can I guess?
Sure.
Is it? Because I'm not a fan of it. It's the what's done is done is done and done.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that one's a little like.
What's done is done is done is done and done. Like, what the fuck?
I mean, it's okay if you say what's done is done, but it feels like I think he says it 3 times and then ends it with and done. It's a little awkward. And another thing too that I like the lyric, but it might be misplaced, was he starts every verse with feeding on the wrath of man, okay? And then he says man down. So you end the first line with the word man, and then you start the second line with the word man. It sounds kind of awkward.
Yeah.
Feeding on the wrath of man! Man down!
My man!
But I love the lyric man down. I love that, especially shot down, man down. You know, these are like, you know, lyrics that are getting hit, but it just kind of fell out of place. So just take that and move it down rather than have it right there.
Mm-hmm.
I love the chorus. It's surprisingly catchy and sounds big and strong. And I gotta tell you, dude, he says 72 songs, 72 seasons. I gotta give it to him. He pulled it off. The madman did it. He said 72 seasons in a song, and it works.
72 seasons gone. He was talking about The Simpsons.
On season 72.
Yeah.
Well, so what do you think about like the song, you know, as a whole? Because you're talking about the lyrics, let's talk
As
about
a
the music.
whole, holy fuck, it was heavy, it was fast, it was fun, it was exciting, energetic. I agree with you. They should have kept it secret. They should have kept it secret and like waited till we heard it. Because you're totally right. If we blindly put in the album on the day of release and that's what we started with without knowing, that would have been fucking incredible. That would have been fucking incredible. But I mean, what it is. It's still a good song, but like,
I mean,
shit,
we could have not listened to it, and I thought about that, but we're 10 days away from this thing being released, and I'm just like, it's edgy.
Give it to me.
I'm like, I so want to drive over to Metallica HQ and just bang on the door and just be like, yo, pop a hit. Please.
Yo, L man, Lars. He's like,
yo, H man.
I'm taking a shower.
I have to say too, it reminded me of a song from the Justice album with a little bit of Death Magnetic and Hardwired and a slight little pinch of Reload.
I could see it. What I really liked was the beginning of Kirk's solo.
Wow.
Yeah, because it was like in a different key and it just sounded different and cool. And then he went back to like, it sounded like the solo for fucking Spit Out the Bone. It was like in the same key. And I was like, no, go back to the other one.
I know. I gotta say this solo does sound good. He does the little wah in the little interlude solo between the first chorus and the second verse, which is fine because it's not really a solo. It's more of a lead. So I kind of like that stuff. But the solo itself was extended. It changed, and the rhythm guitar beneath Kirk's was intriguing. And one other thing I noticed too was the double bass. It sounded legit. And when I say legit, it sounds like Lars can actually do that. When I heard Moth into Flame, how long that double bass part went. Really? Really? You really think I expect to have you play this live? But this one, it's almost like when you hear the double bass, right when you start listening, it's done. But he makes up for it because he does the snare roll, accents the big hits, and then it's over. It sounded like, yes, Lars, this is your strength. You can obviously do it, but don't try to fool me into thinking you can do it for 15 seconds. I know you can do it in bursts. And there it is. And let me say this, and I'll let you go. Probably my favorite part is the wah, meh, meh, and why I like it was because it sounds like there's a delay. Like they're coming in one note later, like someone lost count and they're like, nah, 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 nah. It's a little awkward to play and count. So it sounds like an accident, but it sounds on purpose, which is very, very difficult. And I can't stress that enough, to make something sound like an accident, but you purposely wrote it that way, if that makes any sense.
I think my favorite part was like like at the end.
Oh yeah, that's the part I'm talking about. See, that is the Metallica I know. Injustice.
Cool. That's cool.
Where they were just, it's at the end of the song, but they're still throwing out little sections. Because that part literally comes out of nowhere. And I got to tell you, that's the kind of stuff I love playing on drums. Because it comes out of nowhere, it stops and then goes. But let me ask you, do you like the pre-chorus?
The da-da-da-da-da-da. Yeah. I don't hate it. It's not my favorite part of the song, but it's still cool.
I like it because it feels like you're on a roller coaster and you get to that part and it kind of stops, but you're on a slow incline, building up. And then you get to the chorus and you're speeding again. So it's like you get a little bit of a break. Really, I think the biggest thing I'm not a huge fan of is that last time they go into that pre-chorus. Because you got this momentum and then it slows down again for the third and final time. But what do they do right before that? They play one thing. Da 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 da. They play another different part, which is the old Metallica in them. So I think it was a perfect blend of old, new, modern, but it also just sounds like they're having fun. And
isn't that the point of it all?
But yeah, dude, can you imagine if they just never released that? But they couldn't help themselves. They couldn't help themselves, man.
They really couldn't.
Yeah, I mean, imagine popping that baby into your car, driving over, and you just hear digga 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 with the hi-hat. Kicks your ass. And let me tell you too, you know how they're gonna open concerts, right?
With that, or like they're not gonna be playing that part. It's gonna be like over the intercom, and it's gonna be black on stage, and then it's gonna be dun 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 dun, and then they're gonna all come on and start playing. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna see if you would get that because they've been doing that since That Was Just Your Life and Hardwired. They played Hardwired.
No, I remember they did that. They did that at Hardwired when we saw them play in 2017. They did that for Hardwired, and it works. It works.
Yeah, it's fine. I think they get a little carried away with it. I mean, they did it with Judas Kiss. Really? You got to do it with Judas Kiss? Come on.
They did it for King Nothing.
Okay, well, let's also say this. The reviews are out for the new album.
Yes.
Have you read any of them?
Only the one you sent me.
Oh, the Intense album. So yeah, it's an intense album that goes hard, but it's not an easy listen. What does that mean?
I would assume it's like you don't get many breaks to like, there's no like, you know how in Underworld, it's like, you get fucking Nevermore, and then you get Underworld, and then you get Without You. So it's like, kick your ass, kick your ass. I love you. You are my one and only. And then it goes into fucking
Kiss of Fire.
Yeah, Kiss of Fire.
Kiss of Fire.
And how like then it goes into whatever, and then like after
Tehran.
that, yeah, and then to hell and back.
Yeah.
And
That's
now
fair.
that one's a bit of a like it's like a woo, it's like a roller coaster. You know, there's intense parts and then there's time to breathe. So I assume that that's what this album is going to be, which doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad. It's just like at some point you might be like, fuck, I need 5 minutes. Can we wait 5 minutes for the next song?
Fair. That's a good point. I didn't consider that. I thought of it as like it's not an easy listen because some of the songs might blend together. So, and we've been talking about it for years now. The second disc of Hardwired, those 5 songs you can put all together. And honestly, if you did that, you'd get a great song out of it.
Mm-hmm.
But you take those songs and spread them out, then it's like, now it just feels like a sludge. And now you're going on a journey that you didn't ask for.
It's going on a 4-hour-long hike to see a turd.
Yeah. That's a interesting analogy, but I like it.
Zane said it before. I think that's a Norm. That's a Norm Macdonald thing. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay. Still good.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I've also been reading the main consensus with this new album is that James's lyrics are very good. Like some describe them as tormented and bleak and heartfelt, like genuinely heartfelt or something. Mm-hmm. So I guess he really opens up about his early childhood trauma and all that stuff.
Fuck.
And I hate to say this too. Well, I hate to say this too, but a lot of great music has come from either pure sadness or pure anger.
Sometimes the best art that people make is when they're at their lowest points.
Yeah. And isn't it fun? I was thinking about this last night. Sadness can lead to anger, and anger can lead to sadness. It usually just seems like they both go hand in hand eventually. Mm-hmm. Like you hear something, you get mad at first, and then you calm down, then you get sad. Mm-hmm. Then, and other times you get sad, you think about it a lot, then you get mad at it, and then you go on. And Metallica has always been about mad, but deep down, it's just sad. You know, Master Puppets, drug addiction. Battery, it's about, abuse. Mm-hmm. Sanitarium, going crazy. Fade to Black, suicide. And a lot of death. So.
But not as much as Slayer.
No. And Slayer's just a joke with it. But another thing that I've read is some of the music doesn't match up to the lyrics in terms of like the intensity.
Like they're just doing like a chugging guitar riff and he's like, I went to the ice cream van and he did in a chocolate.
You could go that route, or you could go the route of like they're extremely personal lyrics and you got some stupid like Am I Savage guitar riff on top of it where it's like, this is a great lyric on top of do 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 do. It's like, come on, man. I mean, that's a really sad thing you just said, and we got a B riff behind it.
I just want to say that last podcast I said that wouldn't it be cool if Metallica had their longest song ever on this album, and then Inamorata, the final song on the album, is confirmed to be 11 minutes long. I was right.
Where did you see that? Because you said Inamorata is 11 minutes long.
It was in that article you sent. Like the article you sent, it had a link to a Reddit post. Mm-hmm. And I clicked on the Reddit post, and the Reddit post showed a picture of the newspaper that had the review, and it said Inamorata's 11-minute whatever, and I was like, 11 minutes, let's go.
Oh, I didn't see that Reddit link. Okay. Why did you say that? Because I messaged you. I'm like, where do you see that? And I got nothing. I was on the edge of my seat.
I wanted to, I wanted to make you wait. I wanted to make you suffer.
That's fair.
But yeah, no, that's exactly. I don't know.
Okay, that's good.
That's what. That's. I'm glad that's an W. I was about to say that's an L for me. That's a W for me. I'm happy. I'm excited. I hope that it's good. I hope that it's good. I hope that it's not a slow song. That would suck that if it was like a really slow song.
Well, in some of these reviews, they go into some of the details on the album. Like they'll talk about like, oh, this song is like this song is like this one is, you know.
They said that like, oh, which one did they say? They said like one of the songs is like a heavier sad but true.
Yeah, I think it was You Must Burn. Yeah, I mean,
You must burn.
but I've also heard a review too that they do some things on this album that they've never done before in their career. Which
that's exciting.
It is, but that, you know, that could they've never done anything like Mama Said before. And look at that. Not saying that they're going to do something like that again, but what could they have done on this album that they've never done before that people aren't flipping out about?
They trash Kirk's wah pedal.
Yeah, I mean, and let me just say too, because I've been reading some reviews that, you know, people are criticizing if Darkness had a son's guitar solo, and I want to go, really? That's the one? This is the Metallica song where you finally criticize a Kirk guitar solo? I mean, he's been playing the same solo for many albums. Why is this the one song that people finally open their eyes and they go, wait a second, I've heard this before?
I kind of agree with them, but I also agree with you that it's like, what are we doing here, man?
Yeah,
it's
like
not the first time.
It's not the first, and it probably won't be the last. It's a fine solo. There's some parts in it that sound cool, but they never really go anywhere. And I also heard something interesting too. Kirk in an interview recently said he thinks the Master of Puppets solo is incredibly boring for him to play. And he's not a huge fan of playing the same solo over and over and over and over again. So on this album, I read that he recorded like 20 solos and then sent them to Lars and Greg to essentially edit together. So on the album, you'll hear a solo, but when you see it live, it won't necessarily be the same. Some will be the same, but for the most part, it'll be different every night.
Fuck.
So what do you think about that?
I think that is neat. Considering the solos we've heard so far, I'm not really impressed.
I mean, the Lux Eterna solo has actually grown on me a little bit. Screaming Suicide is fun. It sounds like a late 90s solo.
Oh, I like the one in Lux Eterna. Not so much Screaming Suicide, and definitely not so much in If Darkness Had My Son.
Yeah, I mean, it's not his worst solo. I just don't know why people are looking at that one song. I mean, how many do you realize on Hardwired almost all the solos just kind of sound the same? I mean,
a bit.
I don't. Again, why didn't anybody call anybody out on that album? why are we getting to this one and now people are like,
I think it's because we had Dream No More and Hardwired. Mm-hmm. Atlas Rise and Halo on Fire, Moth in a Flame, which were all like really good.
Well, Spit Out the Bones a good solo
Oh
too.
yeah, but that wasn't at the end. That's we don't talk about that. But yeah, like I think people were just more impressed with that one. Maybe it's like because that album definitely had its ups and downs, like big ups, big down, and then at the end, thankfully, they brought it back.
Mm-hmm.
But like with this album, maybe it's like it's a more consistent through line. Therefore, there's not much to dissect in terms of like how it goes up and down. It's more just like the inner workings of the songs, not the songs themselves. You know what I'm saying?
I told you that earlier. I think when 72 Seasons came out, I thought about it and I told you I think 72 Seasons will be more consistent than Hardwired.
Mm-hmm.
And now I thought about it too, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say I'm going to like this album more than Hardwired.
I think I might as well.
I mean, I'm pulling up the track listing for both of them.
Maybe not like more than the good parts of Hardwired, but as an album as a whole, comparing the two. Probably, most definitely.
Well, now that I look at this thing, it's scary how similar these albums are. You nailed it on the head. It's literally Hardwired DLC.
The expansion pass.
It it really is. So listen to this. Hardwired is 77 minutes 42 seconds. 72 Seasons is 77 minutes and 10 seconds.
Jesus.
All right, so here we go. I'm going to tell you this, and you're going to react to it, all right? So Hardwired and Luxy Turner were 3 minutes, okay? Moth and the Flame and Murder One were under 5 minutes. Screaming Suicide, Crown of Barbed Wire, Too Far Gone, Room of Mirrors, all under 5 minutes. Then we got Atlas Rise, Dream No More, Confusion, Mankind, and My Savage, all 6 minutes. Shadows Follow, Sleepwalk My Life Away, Chasing Light, Crown of Barbed Wire, or If Darkness Had a Sun, 6 minutes. Back to Hardwired. Now That We're Dead, Halo on Fire, Here Comes Revenge, Spit Out the Bones, 7 minutes. 72 Seasons, You Must Burn, Inamorata, 7+ minutes. So the formula is still here because a lot of the song lengths are kind of the same. The big difference here is these songs are shorter, so Inamorata is 11 minutes. Where on Hardwired, Halo on Fire was 8 minutes, and there are 2 other 7-minute songs. This one is a little bit shorter. So I do think this album and Hardwired are going to sound familiar in the terms of like, it has the same sound, it has the same formula, song structure. The only difference is Luxy Turner's in the middle, not the beginning, and I think this is going to have a better pace than Hardwired did.
Fucks a lotta.
I say that to myself a lot.
It's funny.
And Kirk has a songwriting credit on 4 songs.
God, he must be jumping up and down in that McDonald's ball pit with glee.
Oh my God. 2 of them are 72 Seasons and If Darkness Had a Sun.
Wow.
That's the reaction I got.
Wow.
And the other 2 are Barbed Wire and Chasing Light.
It's cool. It's neat.
Trujillo's got 3 songwriting credits.
And
It's Screaming Suicide, Sleepwalk, and You Must Burn.
oh boy.
And You Must Burn has his vocal debut.
Oh shit. I'm excited. I want to hear him sing. Like, actually.
Me too. I'm very curious to see what he's got. And then, of course, the rest are just Hetfield and Ulrich. I don't know. I still don't like the song title "Sleepwalk My Life Away."
It sounds like the fucking title for like a Fairly Odd Parents
Yeah.
episode. It's like, I wish I didn't have to sleep, and then he's like sleepwalking or whatever.
It does sound like an episode title for Fairy Godparents or Fairly Odd Parents. And again, we know James screams these lyrics in the chorus, so is he really going to yell "Sleepwalk My Life Away"? I mean, he's going to. The question is, how's he going to do it?
With gusto.
And look at this. Too Far Gone is 4 minutes and 34 seconds. They haven't written a song under 5 minutes long since Bad Seed on Reload.
God damn.
Yeah, it's been a long time. I mean, do they even remember how to write a short song like that?
You're a dick.
The Dick song.
Hi, Dick.
You ready, guys?
Get ready, guys. It's good.
You want me to read the reviews for this album?
Read one, sure.
One?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah, okay, one. I can't remember anything. Can't tell if this is true or dream.
Yeah.
Deep down inside, I feel the meme.
Well, oh man, there's a lot. Well, why can't I read all these? None of these are going to give anything away.
Well, it's not. That's not the spoilers. It's just like, I don't know. How much time can we devote to just reading reviews? Hold on. Give me a second.
What? What's going on?
Okay.
Oh, okay. Let's see what you're doing.
Hold on.
Oh.
Let me write this down so I can edit this part out
Okay.
of the podcast. So it's around 1 hour. Edit out. Okay. Go ahead. I was just saying, like, how interesting could it possibly be to, like, you know, just read reviews, you know?
Well, they give you an insight on some of these. Like, there's no instrumental on the album, by the way.
Damn.
Yeah, that's confirmed. It says ballads are absent and big melodies are scarce, which I don't know what that means because the big melodies are the choruses, and all the choruses have a big sounding chorus. I don't really know what they mean by that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Again, most of these are oh, here it is. The review points out that much of it maintains a similar tone and pace throughout and often can't match the dynamic range that Hetfield's lyrics display. So it almost sounds like some of these lyrics are going to be really good, but then the music might not back it up.
I'm gonna play some fucking flowery, like, flute music.
I mean, they've done stuff on this album they've never done before, so what else can they do?
I guess so.
Also, they showed some of the lyrics on the review, which I tried to skip over, so I didn't read. Although I did catch one of the lyrics for "You Must Burn."
Oh boy.
And it does shed some light on what that could potentially mean.
Go ahead. Let us know.
I thought, oh, wait a second. You don't want me to read reviews on the album, but you want me to spoil lyrics for you?
Yeah, go ahead. Fuck it.
All right. So it said something like, "You must burn, blah, 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 like a witch." So you know how they say, like, burn the witch.
You must burn at the stake like a witch.
Yeah, so that might explain the "you must burn," because when I looked at that, I'm like, what, burn? What does that have to do with anything? So that might shed some light on it.
Feel the burn. Vote Bernie Sanders 2024.
Oh god, is he gonna go for a third time? Let's see. Yeah, but they show lyrics for "Chasing Light." No, I'm excited to read some of these lyrics because if they're really open and personal, they might be more relatable than some of the other ones. But now let me ask you this. Inamorata might be the last Metallica song we ever hear.
You did say this last time.
So now that we know it's 11 minutes long, do you think it's gonna hold up? What in the hell was that?
For some reason, they updated the fucking voice mod thing to just have, like, a bunch of fart sound effects and burp sound effects.
Really?
Yeah. So, like, it just has that. So...
Where were these fart noises when we were talking about farts an hour ago?
I'm not gonna lie, I dropped the ball. I didn't think about it.
Alright.
Alright, enough.
Oh god.
Anyway, oh god. So I'm just sitting here like, the fact that it's their longest song yet, it could mean that it's their last song, but like, I don't think so.
I mean,
I'm gonna be honest. I think they have one more in them.
Dude, I really don't think so. I mean, they're going to tour for at least 2 years on this. You know they're going to add another year. So let's say that's 3 years. They'll be 63, 64 at that point. And then they're going to probably take another year of maybe some touring, some shows. They have kids I think they want to see. So that might be 4 years. They're going to be 64, 65, and they're going to make another album. I don't think they can physically do it at that point.
Benefit of the doubt.
They're gonna have to wheel Lars out, and he won't be able to play any bass at all. It's just gonna be him doing this the whole time. I don't know, man. Plus, why would you make your longest song, the last song in the album, 11 minutes, if it might be the last one?
I mean, you make a lot of good points. It's just, I think they're always talking about how, like, oh yeah, we're never gonna stop rocking.
This can't stop this train from rolling, which is a Metallica lyric.
Exactly. So like when I hear like, oh yeah, no, after this they have to be done. Like there's no way, dude. There's no way.
Well,
okay, they release one more album, then like, yeah, then I'll probably be like, yeah, I don't think they're gonna make another one.
I think they're done. Oh, I'm done.
But like, do you think like I think at this point like if they are gonna say like, oh yeah, this is our last album.
Mm-hmm.
Pardon me, there's something in my teeth. I'm trying to like hide my teeth.
Is that why you're doing that?
Yeah.
That's funny. What?
I'll floss it out later.
Okay.
Anyway, sorry, that was a little gross. But you didn't have to see it, so it's fine. Anyway.
Offense taken.
Okay. No, I'll just.
No. Continue.
What was
your point?
I was gonna say like, Metallica strikes me as the type of band that would be upfront about retiring from making music on the offset. Like, I don't think they would come out and do this, and then like 4 years later, we're like, when's the next album? And Lars comes out and he's like, yeah, well, funny story about that. I don't think that as a band,
story.
I don't really think that as a band we have much left to say. I think we've already said it all. And there's no, I don't think that would happen. I think that if they were like, yeah, this is our last album, they'd be like, could change, could not, but this would be our last album. I think they would have said that already. Or I could be wrong. I don't know. That's just how I take them.
I think James would be more honest. I think Lars is just an inconsistent answer guy. Kind of like the Danny Carey of...
Well, he ain't no Surge, that's for sure.
That's a different story. That album will never get made. I don't know. I also read too...
System of a Down is System of a Dead.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that was really deep.
I also heard another thing too, or read another thing about the album in this review that, again, if you want me to tell you, I'll tell you. Or if you want to keep it a surprise.
Go ahead.
It said something like the first time we hear a clean guitar line is in Emerata, which is almost sounds impossible.
What do they mean by clean?
Like the beginning of one.
Oh,
yeah, or like maybe like Fade to Black, you know, that acoustic guitar. Just something where it's just guitar and it's not heavy or distorted. It's just clean. That's, you know, why they refer to it as that. But because, you know, this is Metallica. They love clean guitar stuff. You know, even like Harvester of Sorrow. Like even that's something like that. Nowhere to be found. On the first 11 songs on the album, on the 12th one is when we get it.
Maybe they're just stupid and like missed something.
That
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Or maybe they're right.
Wouldn't it be funny if like our favorite song was like Room of Mirrors or Too Far Gone? One of the shorter songs at the end.
I think I'd be embarrassed to admit that.
That's what I'm saying. Especially me. I've been trash talking Too Far Gone for months. And it could be the best song in the album.
That is yet to be seen. We'll find out in 9 days.
That's right, 9 days. So, of the songs left over, which one are you most excited to listen to?
You Must Burn, obviously.
Really? That one?
Yeah.
Wow, all right. I'm still feeling Inamorata. I think that one has the most pressure left. And I'm most excited to listen to that one.
I think it'll be a good album. I'm excited. What are our plans? Like, am I gonna like sleep over at your fucking house that night?
Um, I guess you could, but what I was gonna do was I was gonna wake up, drive to the record store right when the doors open, run in, buy 2 copies, and then just drive down to your place, give you one of them, and listen to the album there.
Right. And that's on Friday or
That
Thursday?
that is Friday.
Okay. Yeah, I'm down with that.
All right.
Okay.
And then after that, we'll just
I don't know.
I never got that far.
I never thought we'd get this far. I don't know. We'll probably watch some other fucking scary movie on Netflix or something.
You can watch scary movies during the day. It doesn't hit the same.
True.
Now, if you go to a movie theater, that's a different story. But are there any movie theaters where you live?
There's one, like up the highway, like 15 minutes away.
North?
Yeah.
There's nothing there but dirt.
That. You go up the highway and then you're in Chandler. You're like in the south end of Chandler and there's like a thing.
That ain't 15 minutes, bud.
It's.
That's like 20 plus minutes. That's suck what?
Suck my fat and sweaty balls.
Bro, it takes like at least 20 minutes to get out of your neighborhood and drive on that awful road. That road at night is great. I love it. But during the day, that must be purgatory. Mm-hmm. There's nothing to look at. There's literally like a house off in the distance. There might be like a factory, or not a factory, but there's just something going on the left-hand side and nothing else. You get like 1 or 2 curves and that's it. It's awful. No traffic, yes, 15 minutes. With traffic, 15 minutes is putting it nicely.
It's it's okay. You're allowed to be wrong. Well, of course I don't mean like when it's like middle of the day, like, yeah, you actually have to wait behind people. But no, like at night, it's honestly, you can get away with getting there in like 15 minutes.
Yeah,
well, I don't know if there are any scary movies that we could see. Plus, like, there's no good movies like out in general.
Yeah, movies are in a weird place, man.
Marvel is sucking right now, like hardcore.
I know that I keep reading stuff like, why do people hate Brie Larson all of a sudden?
Oh,
not all of a sudden.
No, they've hated her since Captain Marvel came out in like 2017.
But why? Why?
Well, I don't think it's necessarily that they hate her as an actress. They hate her character because her character didn't really do anything to like earn their strength.
What did Hawkeye do? Exactly.
Well, he was just cooler. I don't know.
You're cool. You're not in the Avengers.
Because the Avengers aren't real stuff.
But you know what? Even if they were, and you were good at bow and arrows, real life Avengers wouldn't be like, what can you do? Well, I can shoot arrows. Can you fly? No. Well, then why would we hire you?
Well, it's not necessarily that he was just around. It's not like they were like
exactly.
Like, it's not like halfway through the movie they were like, "All right, guys, we got to go through these applications really quick." And he's like, "Hi,
that's what it feels
I'm
like.
Hawkeye."
That's what it feels like. It felt like they were just being good friends. Like there's really no purpose. They were kind of like, "Okay, we got this Hawkeye around. He just kind of not hot guy. I mean Hawkeye. He's just kind of around. We should maybe just let him just like tag along.
Just give him the Happy Meal toy.
Let him go play with Kirk in the ball pit, and you know the adults will be in the other room making adult jokes and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but also I think they do actually hate Brie Larson. I think they hate the character and the actress. But when you ask them why, it's just stuttering. There's never an answer.
I don't know. She's just boring, and I mean like
Don Cheadle's boring. Every actor in those interviews are boring. The only time they said something funny, they had to apologize for it. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
One of the interviewers asked, I think, Chris Evans and Mark Ruffalo about Black Widow. Where they're like, so Black Widow in First Avenger or the Winter Soldier was coming on to Captain America. And then in the second Avengers movie, she goes on to Bruce Banner. But in the first Avengers, she was kind of flirting with Hawkeye. So what do you think about that? And Chris Evans was just like, she's a hoe or she's a slut or something, and they laughed, and people got offended, and he had to come out and apologize. And I want to go, really? The one time I can actually see actors just be funny and just be like, yeah, she's jumping from character to character. What's going on there? Sorry, guys, I won't say anything. Now they just sit there and they go, yeah, this is the greatest Marvel movie, man. You got to watch it. Are we done? Okay. There's nothing fun about these actors anymore. You can't say anything fun because people are going to get offended. And I feel... Sorry, go ahead.
No, you finish.
No, I was just going to say, I think Brie Larson dares to just be herself, and people don't like that. What? You look like a man broken.
I don't know, because I'm like trying to remember Captain Marvel, and I just don't, because that movie was such a nothing burger of a movie.
I never saw it. But that's not because of Brie Larson. It's because, yo, a spoiler alert, Iron Man's dead. Thanos is dead. What do I really care for? The Spider-Man movies were cool, but, yo, that's it. There's nothing else they can do. Nothing else.
Well, I think the next thing they're going to do is they're going to bring in the X-Men again.
Again.
The only thing that I would honestly care about is like they say they're working on Deadpool 3 and it's going to be part of the cinematic universe. And that's the only thing I would be even remotely interested in.
Yeah, I'd be interested in seeing Deadpool 3 because Hugh Jackman's going to be in it. So that'd be cool. Also, I'm getting really sick and tired of just hearing about this Marvel Cinematic Universe. We're adding this character. Yeah, that's what we need. We need more characters to be in the cinematic universe. It's just too much to keep track of. And I don't think I'm alone. I really think Marvel is going downhill, and they're going to have to stop making these movies.
Oh, they're never going to stop. It's just whether or not
they'll stop. You know when they'll stop?
When they stop making money.
Yeah, and they're not losing money, but they're not making nearly enough that they thought they were going to.
Mm-hmm. Because like what they're trying to do is they're trying to do what they did before, but they did that over like a 10-year period. They're trying to do that, but in like a 4-year period.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It's not the same timetable.
Well, also they're different actors too. I'm sorry, but people like Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. It's going to take 50 years before you can recast him. You can't do Iron Man's long-forgotten cousin who stumbles into his garage and finds the thing, and then he takes over. People aren't going to watch that. You're going to have to wait decades, literally, before you can replace Chris Evans as Captain America.
They basically did that in the new Black Panther one. They basically did that. There's just some chick who like built Iron Man armor, and they're like, "Wow, you're really cool. You're gonna be a hero now." And she's like, "Wow, whoop-de-doo." But like, it doesn't have the same feeling because she didn't go through what Tony Stark went through. Like, he got kidnapped by fucking terrorists. People that he cared about died. His parents are dead. His fucking like. He had to kill, like, his business partner because his business partner was trying to kill him. He went through a lot of shit to get to the point where when he died, you actually gave a shit. Mm-hmm. This is just some fucking college student. Like, I don't, like, oh, wow, she's a girl and she's independent and she can do all these cool things. That's awesome. But if you don't show, like, a struggle and, like, a backstory and, like, stuff that actually makes us care about the character, then it's just fucking hollow. I'm sorry. And that's how a lot of it feels. It's like nothing, like everything's just handed to these characters. Like, here's your superpowers, go and be great. And then they just do something cool. And it's like, you're the greatest hero ever. It just feels hollow. Like, the worst thing that they've ever put out was She-Hulk. And in the first fucking episode, she's talking to the Hulk. And the Hulk's like, you gotta manage your anger. And she's like, I do that every single day. That's part of being a woman. And people were like,
wait, what?
And like, or something along those lines. And everyone was like, you are so brave for saying that. You are so brave for saying that. But here's the thing. When she says it, She's talking about getting oogled by drunk men at the bar, just getting catcalled, which I'm not saying is a good thing that should happen. Absolutely not. But when you compare that to what Bruce Banner had to go through, he became a monster, had to go into hiding, lost like multiple loves of his lives. And I mean, that's just like in the movies. In the fucking comic books, like he like went to hell and like fought Satan and shit. Like he went through a fucking lot. Like his parents were abusive and like tried to kill him. Like there's a lot of shit that went on in his life, and then his fucking stupid cousin's gonna be like, I get catcalled in the bar. I suffer more than you do. Bitch, no you fucking don't.
Do you think nowadays with these like superhero like origin stories, do you feel like it's more just kind of handed down? Kind of like you're 15, you have a rough childhood, but here you go. Rather than wait, let me finish.
Okay.
Rather than like a 30-year-old man or woman who had a terrible childhood, terrible early adulthood, terrible everything, now they get it. Because your first 15 years of life, this is kind of like Metallica.
The first 72 seasons of life.
Yeah, your first 18 seasons is like, yeah, okay, you think that's rough, kid. Wait till you get in your 20s. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, maybe that's why some of these characters are better, because they're older. I know people are going to say Captain America. Yeah, there are always these exceptions, but Tony Stark wasn't young. Hulk wasn't really young. They're all like at least in their 30s. And I'm sorry, but getting superpowers at 33 when you're depressed and you're in debt and all this stuff, and you have a girlfriend but she hates you and your parents are dead, is different than you're 15 and you're failing high school.
Mm-hmm.
But also, too, because I know what people are going to say, too, there are kids who are 14 or 15 that have gone through way more than the guy at 30 ever did. I understand that. But watching these superhero movies, it does feel like they're kind of like you said. You kind of like complain about two things and okay, here you go. But there's like a laundry list of shit that all these characters had to go through. I mean, Captain America might have gone through one of the worst things. He got frozen in 1940 or whatever. And then 1945. And then woke up in what, 2012? Or 2010? Imagine if you, Alex Korn, was frozen to death and you woke up and it was 2080. I'm dead. Zane's dead. Everybody's dead. And life is different. That would be such a major change. And I know his girlfriend was alive, but she died very easily. But that's awful to think about. And people just kind of go, oh, he was frozen in 1945 and then he woke up. It's not that simple. But what were you going to say?
Well, I just think that nothing. It just feels like they're trying too hard to like pander to certain groups of people rather than just trying to tell a good story.
Maybe.
Like that's the thing. It's like I don't want to sit here and be like, "Oh, women's issues don't matter." And like all that, because they do. They really do, and there's injustice that goes on in this world, and people deserve to be seen, and people deserve to like, you know, be happy and not have to deal with certain problems. But when you use that as like a way to try to make your character more likable and relatable, it just feels hollow, because you don't see that, like, at least in these Marvel movies, you don't see them going through these hardships that they're talking about. They just talk about it and seem upset about it, and it just feels empty. Like, we followed Iron Man and Captain America and Hulk and all this stuff. We followed their stories and saw where it leaded. So when they start complaining about shit going bad, we're like, oh yeah, you actually did go through a lot of shit. That's pretty terrible. So when fucking She-Hulk is like, I can't find men at the bar. I'm going to die alone. Also, stop catcalling me. You just want to tell her to fuck off. Like, what are you talking about? First of all, you're a hypocrite. Second of all, this doesn't feel earned.
I don't know. It definitely feels awkward and weird, because you can do a lot with talking about issues of today, not just like with women, but issues of race and all that stuff. But it all just seems so cliche, and I've seen this before. If you're going to tackle these issues, can you actually tackle them and not give me the watered down version? Okay, you might have to make the movie rated R. You might have to make a movie that's not kid friendly. Well, you can't have it both ways, man. You can't bring up these hardcore issues because, let's face it, Marvel is for teenage audiences. And if you try to bring in these super adult complex issues, I'm sorry, but 14-year-olds aren't going to understand it because they haven't gotten out in the real world yet. They've been experiencing some of it, but it's also like trying to explain how taxes work to a 5-year-old. They're not going to get it. They'll sit there and they'll listen, and they might retain some things. Taxes bad. Got it. But they're not going to understand federal tax, state tax. I don't even understand all that stuff, and I do it every year. So what makes you think a group of 14-year-olds watching the Eternals or whatever are going to see the underlying themes? I'm just saying, like, you can't have your cake and eat it at the same time. You can't present these hardcore major issues, but hey, it's just a movie. We're about to have fun. No, you're not. No, you're not. That's why these older Marvel movies were so good, because it was a comic book movie. Iron Man puts on an Iron Man suit and goes out and he fights bald Jeff Bridges. Got it. Captain America fights the redhead looking dude. Nazis. Got it. Thor's from a different planet and he's got a big hammer. No one can pick it up except those who are worthy. Got it. It's so simple.
And now it's just all the movies are, oh, you have real world problems and you must do that. I don't know. It's just boring.
Look, I'm not saying don't put it in there, but I think we're trying to overcomplicate this.
No. It's not don't put it in there. It's just put it in there, but in a smart way. And that's the problem. They're not doing it in a smart way. They're doing it in a pandering, hollow way. Like, it's like almost like they don't know how to do it properly. Well, and then they have the fans defend them on Twitter. It's like, oh, if you didn't like Black Panther, you're racist. If you didn't like She-Hulk, you're sexist.
Well, who's saying that?
Well, who's saying that? Fucking basement-dwelling losers who fucking...
People who don't get it. They're 17-year-olds who are writing stuff like that because they don't know the issues. They're just going by what the movie tells them.
Or they go by what articles they read. And I mean, like, it's good to stay informed, but also it's like part of life is also experience. And I'm not saying that you have to like experience shit in order to like understand it fully, but it kind of helps. And I don't know. It's just like, no, we don't hate She-Hulk because she's a woman. We don't hate fucking Black Panther because he's African American. And not even that. Like, Black Panther wasn't even bad. It was pretty good, but like everyone was saying, pretty good. Yeah, it was a solid 7.5 out of 10. Which is good. And which takes me to another quick tangent, which is like people like how 100% is perfect. 90% is really good. 80% is and 70 below is like not even worth your time, when really it should be like, if it's 50, it's middle of the road. It's decent. Average. Yeah, and then if you get to like 30 or 20%, then it's like, oh, yeah, okay, maybe not touch that. So when I say 7.5, that's pretty damn good.
But you know what's funny is 75% on a test is still good.
In America. In America, there's different grading scales around the world. It's kind of different.
Yeah, but 50%, test or not, 50%, that's not good.
That's half.
Yeah, if you took an SAT exam, you got half the questions right, half of them wrong, you ain't going anywhere in life.
Well, yeah, but that's also how the SAT is structured. So, like, you have great, 10, bad, 0. In the middle is okay.
Mm-hmm.
That should be the way that it is. With at least with rating like movies and games and stuff, because like people will see like a rating for like a movie and be like, oh, 82%, oh, it's probably bad. No,
in fact, 80 plus, I look at 80 plus as like very good. 90 plus is like really, really, really good.
I don't know. It's very stupid. I almost forgot what I was gonna say earlier. It's more just like, yeah, we don't hate She-Hulk because she's a woman. We don't hate Black Panther because he's African American. And even then, we don't really even hate Black Panther. More so these new movies like Captain Marvel or whatever. We don't hate them because they're women or they're people of color or anything like that. We don't like them because they're not well written. The writer's room that created these characters doesn't know what the fuck they're doing and thinks they're writing good characters, but they're not.
Yeah, I mean, you're having Hollywood screenwriters who clearly don't do the research. Oh, I remember what I was going to say. The guy doing the Metallica review who said it's taking too long for 72 seasons to start, that was the music video. If you did your research beforehand, you'd find it's actually 7:39, and it opens with that. Mm-hmm. But people don't want to do that. They just want instant gratification, and whatever they read first, if they agree or don't agree, that's it. That's all you need. Read 4 different articles. Read 5 different people's opinions on it. Don't look at one guy or gal, whatever they say, okay, I'm good, I'm out.
Well, I just also want to say as a disclaimer, I know that my Twitter followers, or at least like some of them, maybe a handful of them, will listen to this and get to this point. And before you go and cancel me for these egregious things that I've said, I don't really have anything else to like. I really mean it, truly mean it when I say like, there's nothing wrong with characters being not like, oh, burly white men. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just like, in terms of storytelling, you have to have good writing. Like, no one's gonna read your story if it's shit. Like, that's the most important part. A good story with good characters. Like, if it doesn't matter what you put into your story, if it's not a good story, then it's not a good story. That it is what it is.
You have to have.
This has nothing to do with race, religion, gender, anything, any issue like that. It has nothing to do with it. It's just purely based on writing and how the story goes. Like, they've just been dropping the fucking ball constantly.
I mean, look, I was gonna say this before. Maybe some of those characters were more likable or whatever because they got a lot of movies, but some of these movies that are made, if they're not making money, they're not making a sequel. And if they're not getting a sequel, then we don't get the background story. We don't get to see these characters 2, 3, 4 times in a row.
But like, hey, like, to extend an olive branch, Iron Man 2 fucking sucked. Like, Iron Man 2 fucking sucked.
But we like it because it's funny.
If you watch it for a goof and a gaff and a laugh and make fun of it like while you're watching it, then it's a 10 out of 10. But by itself, it's like it's the most. It's fucking like it's like a 25.
It's terrible. Yeah.
It's bad. Thor: The Dark World was like everybody's least favorite Marvel movie. Like, it was just boring and like.
I never saw a single Thor movie.
So it was like, I'm just saying, like, it's not. Like, the characters, like the gender of the characters or the skin color of the characters that's in the movie, it's the fucking script. And the scripts for those movies were fucking bad.
Well, I said, they will stop making these movies if they continue to not make money. Because you look at the previous movies, I don't have it in front of me, but they were making hundreds of millions of dollars in profit. Mm-hmm. Well, if there's one thing that rich people like, it's money. Mm-hmm. And if their profit is going down, they're going to pull out of that investment or stock or whatever, and they're going to stop. My first example is the latest Ant-Man movie.
Oh, God.
I mean, in the second week, it just dropped immediately. In fact, let me see what it's at right now. But
that's
what it is.
It was. Well, the problem with Ant-Man, from what I've heard,
the problem
with Ant-Man. No, the problem that I've heard is that 1, the CG is pretty fucking terrible. 2, they butchered. Well, not up to Marvel standards. They've done better.
That's shocking with all the money they got.
Well, it's also that they're making like 4. They're working on like 8 projects simultaneously. So these people are probably like overworked and fucking like, oh Jesus, please just give us like a week to just decompress. And they're like, no, keep working. No, but that they butchered a character, a fan favorite character. Mm. There's this one character named MODOK. That's
Modoc?
Yeah. He's like
That sounds like the place you dock your boat at the lake.
It's an acronym for like mechanical organism designed only for killing.
I got
It's
it right
something
here.
like that. Yeah, MODOK, like he's like not like a great character, but he's a cool character. And then they fucking like completely ruined him in this movie. Plus, they made his face look weird, which ties into like the CGI thing. And another thing, it's like Ant-Man's like sidekick, you know, the Wasp. She does literally nothing in the entire film. Has like maybe 2 speaking lines, and that's it. That and like Ant-Man's daughter, like, so in Endgame, he shows up and he finds out that she grew up 5 years because he's been stuck in the fucking tiny realm for God knows how long. And he comes back and he's like, oh my God, my daughter, and everything's fine. And you think that she'd just be like a normal like kid. But then you watch Ant-Man and the Wasp and suddenly she's like super duper smart and like she's an activist. She's like part of Antifa or whatever the fuck. And like she like goes to protests and like she's all about issues. And she's like, God, Dad, you're so stupid. You don't understand. And they make her into this like hoity-toity, like told you so character that like always has to one up her dad because she's right. She knows what's actually right. And it just like undermines everything that fucking Paul Rudd did as Ant-Man. Like, goddamn, dude, like he did so much to protect his fucking daughter in those movies. And now his daughter's just like treating him like trash. And we're supposed to say like, oh yeah, women power moment. No, she's being stupid. She's being rude.
So listen to this.
It's played distastefully. Like it's not. I don't know.
Listen to this. The budget was $200 million. The box office was $473 million. That's terrible.
It was how many was their budget?
200 million.
And then they made 400 million in box office.
473.
So they doubled their profits, but in terms of how they usually do, that's bad.
That's terrible. And also, that doesn't factor in the marketing. And marketing can be expensive. Jesus. So you could probably add another 50 to 100 million on top of that. So in reality, you're looking at like 173. To Marvel, that's like making a profit of $100.
Honestly, like...
So I'm telling you, they will stop making these movies. Or they're going to, I'll put it gently, slow down. They're going to be more time in between movies.
That's what they should do. That's honestly what they should do.
I think I said it after Endgame. They should take a 3 to 5 year break and then come back.
No, immediately Spider-Man and all that other bullshit. And then they started with all the fucking shows. That's another problem. It's like, okay, nobody but the most diehard fan is going to sit there and watch all the fucking shows so they can get all the context for all the movies.
Well, listen to this. So
it's like you would only know who the villain of Ant-Man, the new Ant-Man is. You'd only know who he is if you watched the fucking Loki Disney Plus show. Or if you were like a diehard comic book fan, or both. Like, it's not like he's going to show up and you're going to be like, oh, right, this guy. Because it's the first time he's appeared in a movie. Like, the first time you're introduced to him proper is in one of the shows. And if you don't have Disney Plus, then you're kind of fucked. You don't know the context.
Listen to this. So it grossed $212 million in the U.S. and Canada, and $260 in other territories for 473. It was projected to earn $120 million in North America on opening weekend. Let's see. It was projected to debut 105 to 110 million domestically and 280 million globally in its opening weekend. $280 million globally in its opening weekend. The film made $46 million on its first day, including 17.5 from Thursday previews that began at 3 p.m. It went on to debut to $106.1 million and a total of 120 over the 4-day frame. So, it was projected to earn 120 million in North America over opening day weekend, 120.4 million over the 4-day frame. Okay. Marking the best opening of the Ant-Man series and the third best for February release behind Black Panther and Deadpool. The film's second weekend saw a 69% drop, down $32 million in North America. the largest second week domestic drop off of any MCU film. In its third weekend, the film earned 12.4 million for a drop of 61%.
What the fuck were they expecting, honestly?
That's what I'm telling you. And I want to tell these guys, it's like, dude, you are making the same movie over and over and over again. You're just taking the sticker off and putting Ant-Man, ripping it off, putting another one, Captain Marvel, ripping it off, putting another one, Black Panther, ripping it off. These audience members are getting literally physically tired of watching the same movie. Because let me see, how long do you think this movie is?
It's like 2 hours.
It's 124 minutes. Can we not just get like an hour and a half movie? Why does every movie have to be at least minimum 2 hours long? It's actually physically challenging to sit there and watch what's going on. I think you're right. I think these filmmakers, or not the filmmakers, the people editing it, the director doesn't do anything. The director just stands there with the camera, green screen, great. Send it to the editors. We'll fix it in post. I'm out. I mean, it's getting ridiculous.
I'm just upset now.
Look at this. Ant-Man the Wasp, the 31st film in the MCU? 31?
Jesus.
I mean...
It's only gonna get worse. I guarantee you it's only gonna get worse.
Yeah, they're gonna make a movie and it's gonna make like $100 million and they're just gonna cancel everything because you're seeing it. All these movies are getting made. Any talks on a sequel, they don't make a lot. They're always like, well, we're talking about it. But 10 years ago, that wasn't the case. The second the movie came out, people were like, oh, yeah, Iron Man 2. Absolutely. Oh, yeah, Captain America 2. Absolutely. Oh, yeah, Thor 2. Now, all of a sudden, we at Captain Marvel made $1 billion. Well, it's been a long time, and I just read that they delayed it until November for whatever reason.
I don't know. This sounds stupid to say, but Marvel had more soul back then.
That's fair.
They really did. It's because they were like the movies are not like. I know there are some people who are like, yeah, this is all fucking comic book slop. I don't give a shit. But there was some heart to it. There was a little bit of heart to it. Now it just seems like they have an agenda. Literally all that, like, everybody who actually cared about it is probably gone. Like, the only thing they care about now is just appealing to certain demographics, just making sure that they reach their quotas with, like, social issues and whatnot, and, like, just making a movie that they think Twitter will enjoy. And it's just, like, that's not soulful. That's like walking on eggshells. Because no matter what you do, Twitter's going to be fucking pissed about it. And, like, I don't know. I really don't know. I hope that these horrible numbers that they're getting is a fucking wake-up call and they just realize, like, hey, we seriously need to rethink what the fuck we're doing. Maybe there's a fucking reason why all of our movies are doing shit. Like, usually and this is what pisses me off, it's like Nintendo fucking does this, and it pisses me off, is what they'll do is they'll put out a fucking game for a series that has been gone for, like, I don't know. They did it with Star Fox. I don't know if you know where Fox is from in Smash Bros, right? He's the Fox guy.
Yeah. He's
from a video game called Star Fox, and it's like a shooting game in space. Where you fly a spaceship and you shoot shit. And it used to be really fun. And then they had a few games that, like, didn't do that, and they were like, this fucking sucks. So then we didn't get a Star Fox game for like 15 years. And then we finally got a new one, and it fucking sucked. Like, it was bad. The controls were bad. The story was literally the exact same story as the games that came before it. Like, down to, like, the characters. Like, literally, it was just like a copy and paste job. And it sold horribly. Not to mention it was on Nintendo's worst fucking console. Like, one of their worst selling consoles of all time. And rather than saying, maybe it's because we tried some gimmicky bullshit, it was like, they sat there and they're like, oh no, this must mean that people don't like Star Fox, so we're not going to make a new Star Fox game. And to this day, we haven't seen anything Star Fox related except in Smash Bros. So, like, so that's the thing. It's like these companies, rather than digging deep and actually seeing what the fucking problem is, they go, oh no, it must be because they hate this character. So I guarantee you Ant-Man doing this poorly is going to result in, well, we're not going to see Ant-Man until like the next Avengers.
There is that. I also think you kind of said it, although worded it slightly different. I think I've looked at this as the same issue as currently in baseball, not really sports, where they're trying to please the wrong audience slash fans. Because to me, for baseball, there are three types of fans. There's me and Russell, there's you, and there's Zane. Me and Russell are the fans we're in. You, not a fan, but you'll go to the game. You'll watch some clips. You'll look up a player and all that stuff or whatever. But
I'll have a general idea.
You're kind of on the fence. Like, you could turn, but you're not really interested, but you're not against it. And then there's Zane, where he's openly saying, I don't want any part of it. What do you think MLB's targeting?
You guys.
No, they're targeting you.
They're targeting me on the fence?
They're targeting the audience members to convert. Come to us. Come, all the 10-year-old, 12-year-old kids. We're speeding up the game. Look, there's a clock. Look, guys are hitting home runs. Come to us. Us, the fans, are getting screwed because they're changing the game.
No, okay,
for,
that makes sense.
For the other people. They're changing it for the Zanes and Yous of the world, where Zane's like, I don't want any part of this. No, come back. Why not? They go to you. I'm not really interested in this, guys. I'm sorry. I'd rather do something else. No, come back and watch. Meanwhile, we're trying to say, hey, don't do this, and all that stuff. So the same thing applies to those video games. The same thing applies to these movies, where it feels like you guys have an audience, so just stick with that. Why are you trying to satisfy everybody in the world like you got a checklist and you have to please everybody? It doesn't work like that. My mom told me, or my parents, you can't make everybody happy. Well, why is every business now trying to make everybody happy? You know, I mean, when it's like, I saw a meme about this. When it's Pride Month, that company is full for Pride. But when Pride Month is gone,
July 1st, the rainbow is fucking gone.
All of a sudden, they're gone. If you really want to make a statement, have it come up 6 times throughout the year.
Have it up all the time.
Why is it on this month all out, but one on July 1st,
because it's pandering.
All gone?
Because they don't fucking care. They never fucking cared. It's all about making more money and appealing to a certain demographic. It's never about the politics of it. It's never about the morality of it. It's about making fucking money, and it pisses me off.
Oh, there's politics behind it, but it's the bad kind of politics.
It's the money politics.
Yeah, it's the well, I'm just going to throw it out there, but let's say there's 50 groups out there. Well, rather than get 10, why don't we apply to all of them? There's more money in that. If we can make everybody happy, then we can get money from everybody. Well, you can't come out and say that. That's greedy and awful. So you try to disguise it, use semantics, and go,
exactly, yeah.
We're trying to appease and appeal to everybody. Well, not everybody is into this. So why all of a sudden are you trying to appeal to this group that never once showed any interest in it, doesn't hate it, but doesn't really care, when you actually have a group of fans and you're constantly letting them down? That's where your money is, guys. That's where it is. There are always some exceptions, like, look at Metallica. They're 60. They're the metal band that our parents listen to. But that's not only their audience. You and I are 27, 26, 25. There are kids younger than us that listen to Metallica. So there are exceptions where they can be passed on through generations. But my dad's not into Marvel. My dad's not into video games. So why are you going to try to win him over by throwing in a quick one-liner for him? It doesn't work. So why do you keep going back to that well? I'm out of water.
Ah, shit.
Hey, I want to pop this up too. Because I was looking at the release dates for these movies, and I found an intriguing theme. You ready for this?
What was that?
Really quickly. Iron Man, Incredible Hulk, 2008. Iron Man 2, 2010. Thor, Captain America, First Avenger, 2011. Avengers, 2012. Iron Man 3, Thor, The Dark World, 2013. You see where I'm going with this? Mm-hmm. Let's keep going. Let's fast forward to 2018. 17, 3 movies. 2018, 3 movies. 2019, 3 movies. 2021, 4 movies. 2022, 3. 2023, 3. 2024, 4. Too many movies, guys.
Exactly, yeah.
There's too many. 2. That's it. 1 in the beginning, 1 in May, because that's the big movie month, and 1 in November for whatever reason. That's the big movie month. That's it. No more. So you nailed it. They're cramming too much movie and information down our throats. Can you name all the Avenger Marvel movies that came out in 2021?
No.
Black Widow. Did you see it?
What a fucking stinky pile of doo-doo that movie was.
Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
That one was okay, but it was still nothing to write home about.
Eternals.
Oh, that one's a fucking stinky pile of doo-doo.
And Spider-Man No Way Home.
It was pandering, it was fan service, but I liked it.
Yeah. So that's 4 movies.
Well, Spider-Man's like the everyman superhero. He's fun. And I'm not gonna lie, the fact that and having the 2 other Spider-Men was really cool. Like that was a cool.
Well, look,
thing.
you're gonna run into some good movies here and there. I mean, even on Hardwired, there's still some good songs. You have to make your way through the muck, but there's some accidentally like Dream No More has no business being that good, but it is. You wouldn't expect it, but it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm pretty sure if I watched Thor: Love and Thunder, I might really like it.
Oh God. Oh fuck. Fuck. That movie sucks.
Or I think I'm getting it mixed up with Ragnarok.
Ragnarok's good.
See, that's the thing. All these movies just kind of blend together. Ironic I say that because Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is coming out, and I am going to see that in the theater. I'm looking forward to that.
If it's directed by James Gunn, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, James Gunn actually seems to know what he's doing.
The Avengers always seem to be like, for whatever reason, it almost feels like it's not even in Marvel. It's like doing its own series, which is pretty hard to do because none of these movies can make it without referencing another, which I get, they're in the universe, but oh my God, can you just stop trying to get subconscious goodwill from the audience members by mentioning Thor? Please. They did that all the time in the early Avenger movies. It was so annoying.
Yeah.
They said that. There's a line in Winter Soldier, I think, when what is it? Nick Fury's talking to Captain America, and they're like, "So, what'd Stark have to say?" Well, Stark had his inputs, and that's it. It almost just feels like, why are you teasing his name? This is a Captain America movie, right? But then the other thing too with those solo movies that don't make any sense is, in real life, they would call everybody for backup.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So when they did that first Avengers movie, it kind of didn't make sense to go back to their own movies. It just didn't.
Then again, if they did every movie where it's the Avengers, then it's like, oh Jesus, here we go again.
I know, but I mean, come on. Some of these movies, do we really need 3 of them? We needed 4 Thor movies. Said who? How many Black Panther movies are there? There's 1?
2.
2? Okay. Is there going to be a 3rd? Probably. There might be.
Yeah, probably.
There are 6 phases.
I'm just so fucking weary of it all.
I mean, Avengers Kang Dynasty and Avengers Secret Wars? I mean, what the hell is this? Seriously, like what?
That's supposed to be the new heroes. That's supposed to be their Infinity War and Endgame. And then God only knows what they'll do after that.
Retire. That's what they should do.
No, you and I both know. Unless every movie tanks, they're not gonna stop there. There's so much Marvel shit that they could do. They're gonna bring back Captain America. They're gonna bring back Hulk. They're gonna bring back Thor. They're gonna bring back Iron Man. They're not dead. They're not dead. They never were dead, and they're
How
not
are they
gonna
gonna
stay
bring?
dead.
Yeah, but how are they gonna bring back like Iron Maiden or Iron Maiden?
Iron Man.
Man. Iron Man. I love Avengers. They had Bruce Dickinson running around in there, but Iron Man's dead, dude. And Robert Downey Jr. I hate to say it, but he's getting older. He's in his 50s. He's gonna be 60 soon. He can't keep physically coming out and doing this. So, what are they gonna do? They're gonna make him look younger? That's awkward. We're gonna recast him? No, the fans won't like that. Well, then what are we doing? We don't like the new characters, but the old characters are getting older, and we don't want to. Maybe you should just stop. Did you ever think of that? So Phase 6,
Just
dude,
stop.
Phase 6 is gonna have Deadpool 3,
Hell yeah.
which I'm gonna watch. Fantastic Four.
Don't care.
Avengers Kang Dynasty, and then Secret Wars.
That sounds fucking terrible.
How many times have they rebooted Fantastic Four and failed? At least twice.
Oh god, the last one. The last one was fucking dog shit.
Oh, dude, the last one. The last one might be one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. And I'm not talking like, oh, it was fine, but if they had done this, there was so much wrong with that movie. There was nothing in the world that could have saved it. Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just don't fucking know, dude.
I don't know
just
either,
don't
man.
fucking know. I just don't know. I don't know anymore. I don't know. I want it to end.
I want it to end too, but they don't want it to end. I don't know. Those Endgame. No, it was Infinity War, then Endgame. Those just had such a good finale feel to them, both in the movie and when we watched it. Because when we watched Infinity War, we saw it at Scottsdale, Cine Capri. I was listening to Wearing and Tearing by Led Zeppelin, raced in, sat next to you guys. It was a lot of fun. We went to McDonald's at PV Mall, and then we just started making fun of Thanos in normal human situations.
It was fucking. What a time to be alive.
I know. It's like that was a good movie, and I had a good memory with it. And then Endgame, good, not as good as Infinity War, but I slept over at your place. We drove over to my old Harkins, which is now tore down. They're building something else. And the two of us watched it together, and it was good. It was a fitting finale. It's almost like they don't want to walk away. They just want to keep going and going and going and going and going. But, dude, these guys, they're human. You do realize these are not superheroes, right? They're humans. And they age and they get older.
They're not minus human. They're just human.
And they don't want to play. Dude, Robert Downey Jr. doesn't want to play Iron Man anymore. He wants to play. Well, first of all, he might want to see his wife, Susan, and his kids. I think he has kids. He might want to play other characters. I mean, I don't know, man. But Hugh Jackman as Deadpool, as Wolverine in Deadpool, that I'm looking forward to.
I just wonder what kind of bullshit they'll do to retcon. What was it, Logan? Because that movie was really good.
I never saw Logan, so
that movie was really good.
Yeah, don't tell me anything about it. I'm gonna watch it one of these days.
It's really good.
Okay. Oh man, dude, this is it's crazy. And look at this. Marvel Studios has announced 3 films set for release on July 25th and November 7th, 2025, and February 13th, 2026.
Jesus fucking Christ.
They're not even named. So that could be 4 movies in this Phase 6. That is a year, 2 years, 3 years away.
Just stop. Stop! He's already dead.
Stop!
Stop! I need to put that.
It's time to stop.
I need to put that on my soundboard.
Oh man, you haven't used any drops.
Because there's nothing fitting for this discussion. This discussion is just sad. It's we're discussing basically the death of cinema and good filmmaking. Like, it's just Like, what can I do? Like, oh, Marvel movies suck. Like, I don't
That's
know.
still pretty good.
This is how I feel on the inside.
It, it, it would have added a little bit of it just would have lightened the mood a little bit. I don't know. Do you get the feeling, because I watch movies all the time. I'm watching movies that come out in like 2019, 2020, 2021 on like Netflix. Do you get the feeling a lot of these movies, they all just feel like independent experimental movies?
I guess. A little bit.
I mean, I'm not saying, I'm not advocating do something formulaic or scripted, but man, it just feels like every movie I watch is like this super deep and complex plot, and then there's a plot twist, and now it's really simple, and then you think it's all good, and then there's another plot twist, and movie ends, and you're like, I've seen this movie 30 times. Can we have a normal, basic premise with good characters? I mean, I feel like characters are lacking in these movies.
I don't know. There is going to be an event horizon that we reach where nothing will be original anymore. Literally nothing. So I really don't know.
The only original movies or filmmakers are like, the Adam Sandlers of the world or the David Lynches of the world. Comedies that are dirty, raunchy, or whatever. Or David Lynch, where you're like, you have no idea what's going on, but you've never seen it before. You just don't know what's happening.
Seriously.
So, good times.
Not really.
I mean, what was the last really good movie you watched?
Probably Bullet Train. Bullet Train was really fun.
Brad Pitt?
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
That movie was really fun.
I heard some good things about that one.
The premise was like nothing super special, but I just really enjoyed it. It was just a fun movie.
Let me see what I've watched recently.
It had good characters. It had a good like plot. I was just really invested in it.
See, good characters. It really feels like a lot of movies just try to have a good plot. Like if I told you the plot of this movie I'm watching, you would go, "Wow, that sounds cool." But then if there's no good character, like, stop wasting my time. I'll just keep going back to the 80s and 90s and rewatch those classics because I can rewatch those movies over and over and over again because the characters are so well written. Let's see. Oh, I told you about Black Swan, right?
No.
I watched it. I gotta tell you, that's one of the most disturbing movies I've ever seen in my life.
What's so disturbing about it?
It's got, I mean, you might watch it and go, what's the big deal? But there are just some moments. I'm a not paranoid guy, but I worry easily. And there are shots in that movie where you see something that's so subtle, you have to go back and rewind it. Like there's a shot where she walks into a room and the camera's moving like this, but while it's moving, you see a painting like move its eyebrows. But when the camera stops, it stops with it. And you're like, okay, I saw that. And there are other characters where it's like a dark room and you see somebody run across. It's so cliche, but I hate those shots because I'm always afraid that behind me, something like that's going to happen. So it's also just a movie about paranoia and anxiety, and there's a lot of anxiety-filled shots. The only thing that saved that movie from being watchable was the soundtrack, because the soundtrack is an orchestra. So it's like you would be watching something absolutely gross and terrifying, but it's got this light-filled orchestra in the background that sounds screechy, but it's oddly like calming.
Okay.
And it's just a movie about perfection, and you become obsessed with it. But it's one of those movies where you're like, I'm glad I watched it. I'm never gonna watch it again.
Find the folder.
But let's see. Last good movie I watched. I gotta say, that Puss in Boots movie, The Last Wish, not bad.
Shut the fuck up.
Very
Nah,
good.
nah, it was a
It is
good.
very good.
I did enjoy that movie.
Um, let's see. I watched a movie. It's so stupid, but it's pretty fun. Is Stay Alive. It's got Frankie Muniz in it.
Which one? What is that? Is that like a thriller?
That's the one where they play the video game, and if you die in the game, you die the same way in real life.
Fucking Frankie Muniz.
It's so like, again, like how to make a R-rated sci-fi movie, but there's something so fun about the mid 2000s horror movies. They all look the same, and it just brings me back to a fun period in my life. So that might play into it a little bit. I saw Cocaine Bear earlier this year.
I wanted to watch Cocaine Bear, and I had a chance to, but
It got 2 ovations when I was in the theater.
hell yeah.
And the first one was like not even 5 minutes into the movie.
It's like the bear got into the cocaine, and everyone was like, "Yeah!"
That's what happened. That's what happened. So it attacked somebody and killed him and roared, and the black or cocaine bear. I was gonna say black bear, but cocaine bear, and people were like, "Whoa, let's fucking go!" And then at the end of the movie, people stood up. Not everybody, but some people stood up and cheered for it. It was so funny. I went by myself. I wish I could have brought somebody with me.
Yeah, boy.
What was that?
Yeah, so I want to see it at some point in the future.
It's good.
I believe you. Fuck.
We went hard on Marvel.
Fuck. I don't care anymore. Fuck Marvel. Fuck Marvel. Make Shit Man or what? Butt Man or whatever the fuck you want to do. I don't give a fuck anymore. Iron fuck. Remake Blade. Whatever. It's never gonna be as good as it was. Don't hamper your expectations. It's all gonna be fucking garbage. There might be an odd pearl in there every once in a while in the shit mountain, but like other than that, like they're gonna keep making these movies till we're all dead. And it's not going to matter, and they're all going to be... By the time we're, like, 80, you do realize they're going to have, like, 400 movies, right?
They'll be on, like, Phase 89, and we're going to see, like, the 10th.
Yeah, they're going to have to go to
story.
they're going to have to go to the doo-doo dimension to stop the doo-doo demon from attacking everyone.
We're going to see the 15th origin story of Spider-Man. No one's even going to remember Robert Downey Jr.'s name.
They're going to be like, who's that guy? Yeah, diddly dang dangder. The villain's literally going to go,
I fucked your mom, shit lips.
and then they're going to fight. And then...
I think Marvel movies would be better if they had cursing in it. I've always said that.
I mean, they do, but, like, it's not, like,
No.
egregious cursing.
No, I mean like real life cursing, where if you see a black hole open up in the sky and aliens flying out, nobody would be like, "Oh my gosh!" They look up and they go, "What the fuck is that?" They would
It's like,
say,
on my fucking birthday?
seriously, there'd be people having sex while all this stuff is going on, and they'd be like, "Whoa, what was that?"
And the chick's gonna be like, honey, a hole opened up in the sky. And he's like, yeah, I'll take a look in a second. I'm like right there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's real life. Real life is not okay. The entire area of New York City, for whatever reason, decided to go to Cabo for the weekend. So you can crash as many buildings as you want. No one's gonna die. False. If 1/10 of these Marvel movies happen in real life, LA's wiped out. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
People are dying. But in Marvel world, they make it seem like only the bad guy died. Really? Only the bad guy and his villains. Not Joe Smith walking across the street to get his Starbucks redeemed. That guy made it out. He was standing under the building when Thanos hit it and fell to the ground. But don't worry, he's okay. 'Tis but a scratch.
He's fine. It's only a flesh wound. You bloody bastard, you've got no arms left.
I don't know, man.
What are you gonna do? Bleed on me?
If they made a a Marvel movie about like, Thor going through a Burger King drive-through.
We've talked about this a million and one times, and I am completely on board. I think what they should do is make like a fucking a movie. Yeah, 10-minute YouTube video. No, a movie, an hour and a half long movie of a guy, just a normal dude, no superpowers, who just happens to be there for all of the fucking things, and he's just like a civilian. So he's like eating some mustard, and like a fucking alien shoots it out of his hand. He's like, fuck.
He's like trying to get up the courage to ask out his coworker.
And then the Hulk runs through the fucking building and just fucking.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That I want to see the actual real life.
That would be different, and that would be fun, but no one would see it because it doesn't have Robert Downey Jr. in it. Well,
not just that, but I forget the action. I just want to see like, okay, what does Thor do on Earth when he's not fighting? Because he's going to Half Price Books. Looking at the Stephen King section.
Oh, the Dark Tower, huh? A friend told me about that. Oh, another alien invasion. Fuck me.
he's reading Duma Key in his back patio, and he just sees another black hole open up in the sky, and
he sees Thanos' ship blowing up the fucking Avengers compound, and he's just like...
He's scrolling through, he's like, I got 5 more pages.
Goes...
We're bringing it full circle.
Yeah.
I mean, you're telling me you would not want to watch a movie of Iron Man trying to figure out how to play Mario Party 5?
So wait, what do capsules do? You throw them on a spit. Wait, why would I be?
Wait. What the fuck is a thump?
A thump?
Wait,
what the fuck is a gamba?
How do I play? Wait, the game's over? I didn't even. When did it start? Where's the clock at?
Jarvis, show me this man's balls.
Jarvis. I want to see a movie about Jarvis. What does he do when Iron Man's flying or sleeping? He's got to hang out the internet cafe somewhere.
He's like, well, time to look up Stormy Daniels porn.
Well, all right, here we go.
Lock and love hypnosis.
X videos, here we come. Oh shit, he's awake. Damn it.
Good morning, sir.
Is it trying to log out of my account?
Jarvis, delete all my nudes from OnlyFans.
Jarvis, you left your tab open again. Oh, my apologies, sir.
Terribly sorry, sir.
Terribly sorry. Angela White wasn't going to watch herself. Anyways, who are we fighting today?
Did you know her appendix exploded? She almost died during a porn shoot.
Jarvis, I think we've had this conversation before. See, that's the kind of dialogue I want to see in a Marvel movie. Give me 2.5 hours of that. I want to see Captain America sitting in the Wendy's drive-thru line, looking across the street at McDonald's, watching it whiz by, and Wendy's hasn't moved for like 15 minutes, and he goes, "Fuck!
Wait,
should have gone to McDonald's."
There should totally be a movie that's like a thriller that like starts off as a comedy with like a guy in a drive-thru, right? And for some reason, it's like phone booth almost. Like he's stuck in his car.
But they call it drive-thru?
Yeah. Yeah, like there's some kind of like shit that happens and it like builds up, and then at the very end they all get out and they're like, wait, why didn't we do this before? And that's just how the movie ends.
We have to make a parody.
No, they're like, why didn't we do this before? And then like one of the side character looks at the camera and says balls, and then it cuts to black and credits.
Boner.
Balls, boner.
We have to make a parody of phone booth called Drive-Thru.
Jesus.
I don't know, man, but I'm telling you. Just watching like Hulk and Hawkeye go to a meeting up at like Venezia's and then talking about this cringy thing that they saw this guy at work do. That's the thing. What do they do when they're not fighting? Where are the paychecks coming in?
Well, here's the thing. They actually did that in Thor Love and Thunder. They actually showed Thor's and like Angelina Jolie's fucking not Angelina Jolie, sorry, Natalie Portman's
right.
relationship. And I gotta tell you, I did not give a fuck. Because it wasn't like funny. It wasn't even like realistic. It was just like, I'm on my tablet. I'm on my phone. We're drifting apart. It's like, I don't give a fuck. I don't
We're drifting
care.
apart. Were you together in the first place? I mean, you see like Ant-Man at a Yankee game, just like sitting there watching.
It's like, wait, this isn't the Mets.
Wow, I didn't like that at all. That was more scary than anything else. Can you imagine? Imagine Thor in Blair Witch.
Do you have the map? No, where's the... You came out to the middle of the forest without a map.
You did what with it? You kicked it into a creek? They actually do that in the movie.
Oh my fucking god. This is stupid.
Thor and... Where's the map? Let me give you another movie. Can you imagine Thor in phone booth?
Hello, I'd like to order Domino's pizza. Thor. Thor. Tell her you'd like to fuck her. I need my hammer. You are no longer worthy, Thor.
But I am.
But it's funny. I don't know.
Okay, what about Thor in... You haven't seen it. Oh, Thor in the Matrix.
I don't... Thor in the Matrix would be like... I don't know. Morpheus would be like, you think that's air you're breathing? And then he'd be like, well, that just happened. And then he'd catch his hammer and he'd throw it. I don't know. It's...
Well, that just happened. God, like... Or It... Or Thor in the movie It. But would he play Pennywise or he'd be one of the characters?
He would be one of the characters. He'd be whatever his fucking name is. Like his little brother, Timothy, or whatever the fuck. Georgie.
Georgie?
Georgie's... No, he wouldn't be Georgie, but like Georgie would be running to catch the boat and it'd go in the drain and he'd be like, hey, Georgie? You like balloons, Georgie? And then Thor would be like, what is going on here? Do not talk to sewer clowns, young man. And he'd pick him up. And then he'd be like, oh, come on, Thor. It's like,
going up.
Like it's like Batman and the Joker, where it's like they hate each other, but like they can't live without each other, so they keep running into each other, and it's just like, Thor, you gotta give me a break here. I haven't kidnapped anyone in like 3 weeks.
You and I are destined to do this forever. That's why you can't kill me.
I don't want to kill you. What would I do without you?
Ay.
You know what I say to that? Okay. Dude, I'm running on MT. Let's wrap this up. We're almost at 2 hours, 30 minutes.
All right.
What the fuck was that?
I thought I heard something.
Okay.
But then I just wanted to be stupid.
All right. Well,
all right, let's end it. Oh, guess what I'm doing Friday?
What are you doing Friday?
I'm river rafting.
Are you not coming down here?
Oh, you guys hanging out? Well, yeah. If it's happening this Friday, probably not.
What about Saturday?
I work Saturday.
What the fuck, dude?
Oh, wait a second. Russell actually did call me today. So, how about this? Because Russell's like, hey, what are you doing this? What are your off days? Because, Russell likes to schedule things. And I told him. And he's like, what are you doing Sunday? I'm not working Sunday. And we're closed on Sunday. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that. I forgot. So he's like, why don't we go down and hang out with Alex? I'm down that day. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, wait a second. Idea. Wait. Remember Hot Fuzz?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what do we do? Idea. Oh, you probably don't remember it, but whatever. So we're thinking about coming down Saturday night when I get off work, having fun at night. We're gonna do some DoorDash because DoorDash thrives in Maricopa for whatever reason. It's solid. And spend the night, and then we'll wake up there on Sunday, and that gives us a practically all day Sunday. Thoughts?
Both of you?
Yeah, both of us.
We could make it work.
What was that? Why didn't you do what I did, which is this?
Because you can literally see nothing behind me. It's a wall.
If your head's down, you can look at something. No, here, look behind you. If your head was more down like that...
I need to piss really bad. Can we wrap this up?
Well, okay, but...
We can discuss plans after we end the podcast. I won't hang up. I just gotta pee.
Alright, that sounds good.
Alright, well... we haven't been doing rewind, but, like, there's no real...
Yeah, but we have a better ending to the podcast now.
True.
Which is this.
Which is absolutely this.
That's not it.
That's not it. Hold on, I gotta find it.
Okay. There it is.
Thank you for coming to Korn and Kock. This was a very interesting episode. I'm not a bigot, I swear. I just don't like Marvel and what they're doing. But, yep, there he is. Vladislav Kolichonok.
Jonathan Huberdeau when he was on the Florida Panthers. Let's go.
See you next week.
Alright. So, here we go.
Balls boner.